Alrighty guys, welcome back to NZ Marko Kustoms. So, I'm just going to do a short video, hopefully, on my first thoughts on the spray gun, which is the NSI Water W400. This is the 1.3, it's part number on the other box. So I happen to have the limited edition, Venom edition, just because it wasn't any dearer than the normal. And I had the opportunity to buy it, so I bought it. So this comes with the regulator, a t-shirt, and spray suit, and a bit of a gun cleaning kit. So I bought this a few weeks ago. It's about $700 in New Zealand. If you want to convert that, you know, New Zealand money's not anything near worth what some of the American money and all that sort of stuff is. So, but I just used this for the first time yesterday on the bottom of that body, springs and front axle and steering, diff and chassis for a 24 Dodge that I'm working on. Over the last few weeks, we just rebuilt the bottom of that body because it was rotten. It was rotted off basically. So I probably replaced the bottom 4 inches of that body, pretty much all the way through. Seat pan, rockers, you know, bottoms of the cowl, all around those wheel arches, rebuilt all them. So yeah, that's basically that body done. I've got to do a couple of repairs when I turn up the other way. But so yeah, basically I etched it the other day, sprayed the bottom of the body with some textured rubber liner, or I wouldn't say rubber liner, but stone guard sort of type stuff. I just find it's a good protection for under old stuff. You know, like it's going to get a lot of use, but it just helps sealing everything up and whatever like that, you know, seam sealer and whatever, and then a good coat of that over it. And I sprayed the bottom of it. Obviously it's going to be turned up the other way and we're still going to carry on with repairs and whatever, but I just wanted to get a good coat because once it's back on the chassis, you know, I don't want to get underneath and be painting. So that's kind of why I did that, and I obviously sprayed the diff and all the rest of the other parts with it at the same time. And this thing is an absolute beast, absolute beast. 3.5 turns out the fluid needle, about 25 psi. I did start at 30 and then just wound it back a little bit, just so it wasn't quite such a big fan. I think I might have dialed this in just a touch, I'm not sure, pretty much full open, but just might have played with it a little bit. But I just found that was, I wouldn't say too big a fan. If it was in a booth I probably would have left it alone, but I just wound it back to 25 just to close it up a little bit and just not quite so much overspray. Obviously I had that covered, but because I'm about to start working on it again shortly. But yeah, just monstered the paint on, you know, basically just walked down the chassis into the inside rails and just blew it and then walked back, and the inside of the chassis was done and the inside of the rails. Just monstered it on. Hardly even had to like go back over in little bits and areas, you know. Didn't have to chase anything because the paint was already there. It just got that much just a really nice fan. I've actually got a box. What do I do with that box down here? That was me. It was basically 2 goes just to set the fan, pretty much, and went for it, you know. It was that easy to set up. Sprayed a bit of thinners through it for a start off, make sure it was clean, and mixed with paint, put it in, and away I fucking went, and just blew it on. Absolutely awesome gun. I wish I'd painted that with this, but I didn't have it. So just a wee bit of a backstory with my use with guns. This was my first Gravity that I bought in probably 2012, 1.4mm, just a generic thing that you find at your average home handywear sort of type place or automotive place. This was just 1.4mm in 2012 that I think I paid about $70 in New Zealand for or thereabouts. Been an absolute beast too, to be honest. Really good gun. I've never had really any issues. The only problem is actually partway doing bits and pieces on this, because I was kind of using this as a backup. I'd stripped it down one day and I dropped the spring, and for the life of me couldn't find it. I actually found it about, I don't know, about a month or so ago, after we had a massive clean up in here. You know, after we'd sort of done the bulk of this and was starting on this, and I had a really, really good clean up. I eventually found it. But I'd been using this here. I've used this on about 3-4 little jobs, or 3 little jobs-ish. I painted a bike tank and 2 tractors, sort of tarted these 2 tractors up, and then I went to use it on this thing. And when I started using it on this thing, you know, obviously stripped it down in one day, cleaned it up, and the seal went in here. I couldn't figure out what was going on for a start off. But yeah, eventually worked out that the seal went in here. I ended up having to use thread seal to get it to spray properly, because I couldn't use the 1.4, this is a 1.3. And it's given me nothing but issues ever since. This is a baseline DeVillis spray gun. I bought it because I originally, in 2015 or 16, bought an A&I F150, which was going to be my good gun at that point. For painting some other stuff years ago. I used it a wee bit, but I actually moved to Australia in 2017, and unfortunately I moving around a little bit for a start off, lost the fucking thing, and I replaced it with that because I just didn't have enough money, and I bought a A&I 1.8 to put primer on, because this gun over here was still in New Zealand. But yeah, just this was okay for a start off, but just giving me problems ever since. You know, first couple of jobs it was fine, and then obviously after cleaning, this seal didn't like the thinners or whatever, you know, washing it out. Obviously just screwed that seal up, and it's been a pig ever since. I've found it really awkward to get kit here for it. It's probably one of those things you could buy kit, and I did hunt one down, but it was about half the price of the gun, so it wasn't really worth it. So when we started this Dodge job, I was like, I ain't gonna go buy myself a decent gun, and so far, the best thing I ever did. You know, time will tell, but this W400 NSI water is just an absolute beast. Just smashed the paint on that thing. So yeah, I can't wait to obviously get a bit further and carry on spraying with it and see what it's like with the rest of the paint. But absolute monster. I will be getting another one. We'll get a 1.4 for doing clear, because I find that I like the 1.4 for doing clear. You know, you can put a little bit more on. You know, with some of that thicker products. You know, clear is obviously normally thicker than your base coat or your whatever you're putting on, your colour. It normally ends up being a bit thicker, so you just want a little bit more fatter needle to put it through. I find it just, you end up with a nicer job. So yeah, I will get a 1.4 at some point to replace this, and I'll just use this as a chassis black gun, or you know, I used it the other day for Rich. It worked perfectly. I think, to be honest, I will hold on to this just in case for some reason I have an issue, but I don't think I'll probably ever use it. It might be one of those ones that will just sit in my arsenal, and I might bring it out every now and again and just do a wee bit of paint work with it and just see, you know, maybe blow on just a few brackets, something like that, just to make sure it's still working all right. But yeah, may end up just in the garbage, to be honest. I'll probably keep the pot off it, and yeah, but if you haven't got a decent gun and you want a decent gun, I highly recommend that. An absolute beast. You can just buy it in the normal version, obviously. There's probably there'll be specials, or what do you want to call it, like this was a limited edition. You know, there'll be other limited editions, or you can just get the plain silver one, which was probably what I'll end up getting for the 1.4. But yeah, this thing's just an absolute beast. I couldn't highly recommend it anymore. Anyway, that's my basic review on what I think of this gun. Just turn the air cap up the right way. But yeah, W400, and this says BA4-2 on the end of it, which I'm guessing that's what that says on the side of the box, is it? Kind of, no, but that's must be the air cap. I actually need to give it a bit more of a clean up. I really cleaned it pretty much from yesterday, apart from blowing a bit of thinner through it and just giving it a quick wipe. If you can read that or not, but yeah, I'll just give you another part number in the box. But yeah, absolute beast of a gun. Highly recommend it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this first time review on using this gun. It's kind of the first review actually on the gun. I guess I didn't really do much review when I bought it. I thought it was just a normal video. But yeah, so far, absolute beast. Highly recommend it. Time will tell us how it lasts, if I have any issues with it, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so far, absolute monster. Love it. So I'd like to try a Pro Light or something like that just to compare notes. But so far, yeah, I think the Pro Light was just as expensive here. So yeah, at this point, yeah, I'll be definitely buying another one. Right guys, thanks for watching. If you want, subscribe and like some stuff. You know, I've got plenty more coming up on Dodge, a bit more coming up in the studio. Hopefully we have this finished shortly. Just got all the bright work back for it, so now we can finish putting it back together. We've got to do a little wiring and buy some extra little bits and pieces for it, but pretty much we're done with this, and then hopefully we're running and driving and back together shortly, and then it can go for upholstery. Alright, we'll catch you later on. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Yep.